Questions et commentaires, l'honorable.
The Honourable Member for Longueuil Saint-Hubert. Madam Speaker, it's clear that the holiday season is approaching because everything's a little bit surreal right now. We're not anywhere near reality right now, Madam Speaker. Earlier, I heard a Liberal member saying that he was proud of his party's record. But listen, let's get back to reality here. In La Presse on November 7th this year, when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions, the article said that Canada has the worst record of the G7, the worst record of the G7. And, you know, our Liberal friends are apparently proud of their record, but now we hear the Conservatives who suggest that we do even less to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So, listen, this is, it's clearly the holiday season. Everybody's thinking about something else. So, according to a recent study in 2022, Canada spent $50 billion directly or indirectly subsidizing the oil and gas sector. I'd like to know if my colleague thinks that, I'll remind my colleague that this industry made $220 billion of profits in 2022. We gave them $50 billion in tax money. Does my colleague not think that this money would be better used if we had built social housing? The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre. Well, I'd like to thank my colleague for the question, but it's interesting, he's attacking the Liberals who aren't, accomplishing anything when it comes to the environment. And he's right to say that. But after that, he continued. He went on by indicating that the Conservatives, or rather the Government of Canada, had given $50 billion to the oil and gas sector. Well, Madam Speaker, that's a joke. They've given almost nothing to the least this sector. And he should recognize the facts that this needs to be revisited.
The Honourable for New Westminster, Burnaby.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate my colleague, but when he says, Conservatives want to be prudent with money, the Harper regime was the most outrageous shoveler of money towards billionaires and banks in our country's history. Just go through the numbers, Madam Speaker. $116 billion in liquidity supports to Canada's big banks. Harper regime. We have the overseas tax havens that cost us $30 billion a year, according to the BBO. Again, Harper regime, and shamefully, the Liberals have not ended that practice of $30 billion a year going to overseas tax havens and tens of billions of dollars going to oil and gas CEOs. So Conservatives shovel money off the back of a truck. If you're a billionaire or a banker, you get that money. But what they did cut were all the programs on clean energy, including eco-energy, which Canadians stepped up to, and the Harper government cruelly ended and shut down so many of those small businesses across the country. How can the Conservatives possibly say they're credible when they did that?
A brief answer from the Honourable for Calgary Centre.
Well, a brief answer. I don't know where that member's getting his facts either, because the government doesn't give any money to executives of petroleum companies across the country. It is a productive sector, and when it's doing well, all the employees do well. When it's doing poorly, take a look at the employment losses that happened over the last 8 years while we were in Parliament here. It's only bounced back in the very near past here, the last 2 years. So there is some significant misinformation that I think comes from that member. I don't know what he's referring to in a government a decade ago that had to deal with fiscal prudence, but I do agree with him that the Conservatives are looking at where we need to spend money effectively in the economy, because frankly, this government is going broke.
Yes, and I just want to remind members, if they want to have conversations while someone else has the floor, and this is on both sides, that they should step out to do that or wait until their turn comes up to speak.